A series of new NBC polls paint a bleak picture for the direction of our country. 72% of respondents believe America is headed in the wrong direction. An overwhelming majority of Americans think the political polarization seen in recent years will continue and that the threat to American democracy is a real and serious one. NBC News senior political editor Mark Murray is here to help us break down these new polls. Mark, good morning to you. So let's start off with that figure we just showed. Over two-thirds of Americans, 72% polled, believe the country is heading in the wrong direction. How often do we see this number in this territory, and what does that tell us now heading into the midterms?
Yeah, Joe, relatively, this is a really high number for our poll. This is only, this is the second straight NBC News poll we've had more than 70% of Americans saying the country is headed in the wrong direction. And we are in an election year, and in past election years, in the 30-year history of our poll, we've only seen that where you've ended up having 70% wrong direction more at least twice in a row. And those took place in the election years of 1992, 2008, and 2016. And Joe, what did those three elections have in common? The party in power ended up losing control. And so this is a pretty grim, not only is the public in a grim mood, but this is a pretty grim poll for the Biden administration and Democrats who are trying to control of Congress.
Mark, let's take a look at some of the other questions which suggest Americans believe our democracy is being threatened and that political polarization between Republicans and Democrats is here to stay. So that polarization number, how much has that number you see there grown over the years? And what's your takeaway of these responses?
Yeah, Joe, that polarization number to me was the most surprising out of all, where when we last asked this question back in 2010, it was pretty much a mixed verdict on whether polarization will continue or whether America can come together during difficult times. And now all of a sudden you end up having 7 in 10 Americans who just say, you know, the polarization is only going to continue in this country. And so, you know, that to me really stood out. And then, Joe, when he talks about the 76% who believe that there is a real threat to democracy, that's shared by more than 7 in 10 Democrats, independents, as well as Republicans. But when we ask Democrats and Republicans, so what is the reason behind that threat to democracy? And Democrats ended up answering Donald Trump, and Republicans answered Democrats. And so there is not an agreement on what the real threat to democracy is between Democrats and Republicans.
Looking at those numbers, Mark, not too surprising. Americans don't seem too optimistic about the possibility of bridging divides seen in our society. Here's another number. Only 27% of Americans think that the country can come together. 70% say they can't. So is the idea of compromise and bipartisanship basically gone right now in America?
I don't know if it's gone, Joe, but that is certainly a grim statistic. And we've seen this country in its history come together, whether it was in World War II, during the Cold War, the Great Depression, even the Great Recession in this country, even though there were certainly some political differences between the Democrats and Republicans. But the way we ask this question, that given our political differences, when the going gets tough, will this country get together? And in 2010, the percentages were pretty mixed. 45% to 50%. And now all of a sudden you have an overwhelming majority who say that the polarization will only continue.
Maybe we can hope those 27% will be proven right at some point. Mark Murray, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.